Schirazzi with you. Welcome to day number 4 of our continuing series of moments that define WrestleMania. A chronological look at the best moments from each WrestleMania of the past 25 years. We fast forward from the historic WrestleMania III from the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan, to WrestleMania IV, which emanated from Atlantic City, New Jersey, the Trump Plaza Hotel Casino, March 27th, 1988. And this event centered around one huge tournament. It's a tournament to determine a new WWE champion. As of the result that happened on the main event program, the rematch, the much anticipated rematch between Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 3, they signed the contract at the inaugural Royal Rumble event in January, and 2 weeks later met in Indianapolis, Indiana, on NBC in front of a record 33 million viewers, the most watched North American wrestling program ever, which ended in controversy with Andre the Giant winning the WWE Championship for under a minute, and then selling the belt to the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, but WWE President Jack Tunney said nope, and the best way to do it was to have a tournament to determine the WWE champion on this evening. It was really no complaints about this one, but it was the focus of this event was centered around the tournament. Moments that were around this, moments that were non-tournament that were around this event. You had Gladys Knight singing "America's Beautiful" and "My Country 'Tis of Thee," combining the two at the start. Jesse the Body Ventura doing some poses for the crowd in Trump Plaza. The Tag Team Championship is changing for a third time in 4 WrestleManias as Demolition defeats Strikeforce with the help of a cane, so the second title change involving a cane to grab the upper hand. Demolition holding on to the tag team titles, or actually winning the tag team titles over Strikeforce at this event. My 3 favorite moments of this WrestleMania. I guess I should mention Ultimate Warrior making his pay-per-view debut. I don't know if this was his first match, but he took on Hercules, and I think he had some fun swinging his 20-foot chain. But now we get on to my 3 favorite moments. Surprised that there would be 3 since the event pretty much centered around the tournament. But there were some. Not only was there the tournament, the event kicked off with the Invitational Battle Royal, where the winner would receive an 7 or 8 foot trophy, and 20-man battle royal involving most of the tag teams and most of the mid-card, undercard wrestlers at the time. Won by Bad News Brown, who was down to him and the Hitman Bret Hart in this one, and Bad News double-crossing the Hitman, allowing for the elimination of him. And my favorite moment from this one was the ending, obviously, where Hitman jumps him and smashes the trophy in half. I think this moment solidified the Bret Hart changing from heel to face. Obviously, if you know the Hart Foundation, early on they were managed by Jimmy Hart. And thus I think that this moment turned Bret Hart from a heel to a face wrestler, and so did Jim the Apple Neidhart. But there you have it, number 3. Number 2, Bob Uecker showed up again for WrestleMania 4. Just like he did with WrestleMania 3, he was on the lookout for Vanna White. I'm not so sure how far he went with Mary Hart the year before, but he was looking out for Vanna White. And he was backstage interviewing, too. Instead of finding Vanna White, he ended up finding the huge, colossal arms of and hands of Andre the Giant wrapped around his neck in an interview that was conducted after Hulk and Andre got double disqualified in their tournament matchup. Of course, number 1, obviously it was the tournament. 14 men to determine a new WWE champion as a result of the Hulk-Andre controversy in their rematch. just to run down the results of the tournament. The first round matchups, Ted DiBiase, who was initially wanting to buy the WWE Championship belt, took on Hacksaw Jim Duggan, won via pinfall. Andre the Giant accompanying him in this particular matchup, tripping Hacksaw Jim Duggan as he was about to go for the three-point stance, and picking up the victory there by pinfall. Don Morocco defeating Dino Bravo via disqualification. Frenchie Barton, Dino Bravo's manager, got involved. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat losing, even though he had his little dragon out there, his little son, to the ring. Losing to Greg the Hammer Valentine. By pinfall, Randy Savage defeating Butch Reed by pinfall. The One Man Gang defeating Bam Bam Bigelow by a countout. And as a result of Rick Rude and Jake the Snake Roberts having a time limit draw, 15-minute time limit draw, the One Man Gang getting a bye to the semifinals of this tournament. The first match of the quarterfinals, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, double disqualification. Match got totally out of hand, and that would lead the winner of Ted DiBiase versus Don Morocco in the quarterfinals to get a bye immediately and a berth in the finals. Ted DiBiase obviously defeating Don Morocco. Macho Man faces One Man Gang in the semifinals after his victory with Greg Valentine, and he ends up defeating the One Man Gang via disqualification. And that one setting up my favorite match, obviously my favorite match by default, which would be the finals to determine the WWE Champion. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase versus Randy Savage. The sides were evened up a little bit, if you want to call them even. Ted DiBiase having Virgil in his corner, and of course Andre the Giant, who was bought off by the $1 Million Man beforehand to give the $1 Million Man the WWE Championship. And the Macho Man Randy Savage, obviously with Miss Elizabeth. Obviously, Macho Man and Elizabeth went through like 3 or 4 color-coordinated changes in their wardrobe before going out to the ring for their matches. Randy Savage bringing out Hulk Hogan to even the sides in that particular matchup. A 10-minute bout. Hulk Hogan behind the referee's back, hitting DiBiase with a steel chair. Savage going for the flying elbow drop and winning the WWE Championship for the first time. His first of 2 reigns as WWE Champion for the Macho Man. And the Mega Powers celebrating that night in Atlantic City, but time would go on, and like most great tag teams, they would implode, and it would all lead into next year in the same venue for WrestleMania 5, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. Here, the moments that define WrestleMania will continue with WrestleMania 5. And until then, Skirmatzi saying, talk to you tomorrow.